Rev up your engines! I'm going to show you how to fix exterior parts of your car like the Toyota that fell off of this Toyota Celica. Now this stuff might look like metal, all chrome plated, it's just plastic. And it's only glued on, and eventually, guess what? The glue comes off. Mine fell off and I threw it in the trunk. I know it's in here somewhere. Well, here it is. Not Ota, the whole thing, Toyota. Now, if you're going to remove this to glue it back on, you don't want to ruin the paint. You want to use this 3M strip-off wheel. It takes stripes off, takes stripping. As you can see, very flexible, and it won't destroy the paint. So we'll thread it in, and since it's turning this way, we only want to use it in the drill in a forward motion, not reverse. And you just stick it in your drill chuck and tighten it up, super tight. You might want to run it a couple times and then retighten it. There, now it's super tight. Then you just buff the old glue off. Be sure to do a neat job and get all the edges off. Now before you use an epoxy, I find that this ultra powerful fingernail polish remover works good. You put a little on a rag and you clean the whole area. You want to make it naked so the epoxy will stick well. Then let it dry 5-10 minutes and mix your epoxy. Now, since this is cosmetic, normally I use JB Weld Quick, but it dries black. This is JB Weld Clear Weld that's clear. You mix this and put it on, then it'll be clear and you won't see black goop all over the place. But before you mix the epoxy, the back side of this is gooey. So then we'll get a little bit of the hardener, squeeze it out in a line. It's cold, so it'll be a little harder getting this stuff out. But eventually you can squeeze a little line out. There we go, make a little line, put the top on so it doesn't dry out. Then get the resin and make a line next to it. There we go. And then stir it up to mix it. Clears in 5 minutes, so you want to do a reasonably fast job of it. Put it on the back of the Toyota. Make it nice and even. It is clear, so if we screw up a little, we can always wipe some off. Then we'll go back to where it goes and stick it on. And we want to hold it tight. You see a little bit of the glue will stick out, so you wipe that off. It's not completely cured. That takes a few hours. But if you're in a hurry, get a hairdryer. Because sometimes patience has its limits. And there we go. Now it's a Toyota Celica again. And you can certainly see why I use the clear weld. If I were to use the black stuff, there'd be black goo all over the place. Clear stuff works good for anything that's cosmetic. If you're doing something under the hood, who cares? But you're looking at this. As you can see now, the car's complete. It's back to being a Toyota Celica. Now that wheel's great for getting rid of really thick glue, but if you got little stickers and stuff or something that's stuck on, you can always try this Gooby Gun automotive glue and sticker remover. I've used it for years. You spray it on, let it soak, and then you can wipe the glue right off. Mind you, it's not going to work on that thick glue like the decal under there. That was thick glue. You got to remove it with the wheel, then put new epoxy on. But speaking of things that don't look right, check this plastic out. It's all faded away. You can see this is okay, but this is all faded. I've been using this Mother's Back to Black for decades. And as usual, nobody's paying any money to say this. I buy this stuff myself. I try it out. This isn't an advertisement. This just shows that this stuff can rejuvenate the black pretty fast. You just put a little on a clean rag, wipe it on, get all the little nooks and crannies. As long as you're doing that, we might as well do the rest. The only problem I found with this stuff is once you start, you can't stop. It's like painting a house. You paint one, and oh, that doesn't look good. You end up painting the whole house. Check it out. You can see how it shines now. Here's the side we just did. And here's the other side of the car. Here's the side we didn't clean. You can see how it's dull. Shiny side that we just did. You can see the difference. You can see how much better it works. Now, of course, the worse it is, the more work you got to do. There actually is a back to black cleaner. If it's really faded away, first you use the cleaner, then you use this stuff. And they say it can last up to a year. My advice, do it when you wax your car. You're supposed to wax your car 4 times a year, 1 each season. Then do all the trim with this. You do it 4 times a year, you're not going to end up with a faded car. Old cars may look fine, but then they got that horrible faded black crap everywhere. Trim, plastic, rubber. This stuff will make it last longer and look better. And then maybe your wife won't say, we got to get a new car. That thing's looking old. Everything's all faded away. Realize plastic has plasticizers inside that keep the plastic somewhat supple. The UV rays of the sun will destroy the plasticizers. Then the plastic becomes hard and brittle and cracks. And even though it's plastic, you'll find replacement plastic parts are not that cheap. Generally, only the manufacturer makes them, and they charge a lot of money. You prevent it from cracking? Hey, more power to you. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is cleaning your car. Maybe you're not lucky like me. You don't have a nice house with the driveway, with the hose, electricity. Well, check this out. I've been trying this battery-powered pressure washer out for over a year and a half. You live in an apartment somewhere where you don't have a water spigot. Hey, it's battery-powered, so you don't need an electrical cord. All you need is a bucket you can fill up with water. Oh, you might think, oh, O'Reilly's paying me money. No, they aren't. I bought this bucket. That's the closest store to my house here in Tennessee, so I bought it at O'Reilly's. It's a nice big size. You can get them anywhere, Lowe's. That's your water supply. And you just hook this up, plugs in. The suction end goes in the bucket. And then you can just use it to clean. Adjustable nozzle. So if you live in an apartment, you don't have any electricity, you don't have any water supply, all you need is a bucket. And these pressure washers don't use that much water. This 5-gallon bucket is plenty enough to do your whole car. I've used this thing about a year and a half. Still works perfectly fine. Got 21 volt, 4 amp battery. It lasts quite some time. It's pretty good for cleaning your car or doing anything around if you don't have electricity or a water supply. Don't go to some fancy hand car wash place. They're going to charge you a fortune to wash your car. Hey, do it yourself. So you want to keep your car looking good, fix all the pieces that have fallen off, maybe do a little polishing, a little cleaning. Now you know how you can do it yourself and not have to depend on anyone, even including the electric company or the water company. Bring your own supplies with you. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Says Scotty, I got a 94 Acura Integra. The cruise control just turned off. Where to look? Okay, well, realize there's not many things that's really serviceable, but go to your cruise control module, right? See if all the wires are plugged in, unplug them, see if there's green corrosion, clean it off. If so, check your vacuum line. Sometimes it's as dumb as your vacuum line came off. And never forget this. They don't cost much. Buy a new brake switch. Under your brake pedals, there's the brake switch that turns the brake light on, but that also activates the cruise control. And if the brake switch breaks and doesn't work correctly, your cruise control will not turn itself on. So it could be as simple as your brake switch. Pray it's that, because if it's the computer module, they cost a fortune on those Acuras. But a lot of times it's the other stuff, so give that a try. You never know. Reefer Madman says, why does my 4-cylinder Range Rover have 8 spark plugs? Do the 4 in the exhaust sides provide any horsepower, or the 4 exhaust bars for emissions only? Okay, mainly it's for emissions, the whole thing. It was to pass emissions control. Theoretically, they burn better. I've seen some V8 cars that got 16 spark plugs for the same reason. Nissan did it on some of theirs too, and their distributors broke down on those all the time. It's kind of a dead end. They don't do it anymore. Cafe 80 says, Art's 2008 Dodge Charger has tranny trouble. Do you think it's years worth of crap in his trunk is contributing to that? Certainly if they weigh a lot. Let's say he's one of those guys that's got gigantic batteries and subwoofers. Boom, 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 boom. Not only is he ruining his ears, he's going to ruin the rest of the car too. You put that kind of weight, especially big heavy batteries, you're going to wear things out faster. But, I mean, it is a Dodge product. They're going to wear out anyways. And I'm sure he's got the big V8 engine in it, and that's going to wear the transmission out more than the weight of battery in the back. That's the weakest point of those vehicles, are their automatic transmissions. And that's the first thing that's going to go out, regardless of whether you got anything in the trunk or not. Israel Poindexter says, I know your mother just died. How did she die? Well, old age. She was 96 years old. She just faded away. She was a really nice hospice outside of Buffalo. People were very professional there. Extremely nice people. Yeah, eventually you go from something. I mean, 96 is a long time to be going along. Over the years, she had a little dementia, and, you know, she wasn't eating much in the end. But everybody's got to go some point in time. My great-grandfather died in his sleep when he was 95. And he didn't particularly die of anything, just old age, you know. You got to go eventually. We all wear out. We're all ticking time bombs from the minute we're born till the time you go. It's just a matter of how many ticks you got until it's all over. So, you know, thanks for your thoughts. But hey, everybody at night, if you can live to 96, you know, and she wasn't in pain either, she didn't have cancer or anything. So, if you want to go, that's the way to go. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.